Welcome back to Daily Power English, where we find quiet strength for your busy life. Imagine this. It's midnight, minus 40 degrees, and you're standing outside your house, locked out. This happened to a neuroscientist, a brain expert who studies how we think, and he made a critical mistake. He could see his keys through the window, lying on the dining room table, completely out of reach. Desperate and freezing, he found a rock and broke through his own basement window to get inside. Why did a renowned expert, someone who understands the brain's logic, act so irrationally in that moment? It's kind of comforting to know that even a specialist can get stressed and make foolish errors. The answer lies in how our brain handles stress, a mechanism designed not for thinking, but for surviving. As one person wisely put it, I didn't know my thinking was cloudy because my thinking was cloudy. We need a way to protect ourselves from our own stressed minds before the pressure even begins. Stress is more than just a feeling. It's a powerful chemical and biological event. When we perceive danger, real or imagined, our adrenal glands release the stress hormone, cortisol. Cortisol shuts down systems in our body that are not immediately vital for survival, like digestion or the immune system. Unfortunately, one of the first things that goes out the window during intense stress is our rational, logical thinking. Our brain is designed to react quickly under threat, not to think deeply about locksmiths and insurance deductibles. Since we know our brains will fail us under pressure, the only solution is to think ahead. This means planning for failure when we are calm, rational, and clear-minded. One powerful tool is called the Pre-Mortem Analysis. You imagine that your current project has utterly failed, and then you ask, what are all the reasons why this failure happened? This technique removes the emotional panic and allows your calm self to solve future problems for your stressed self. Let's say you have a big presentation next week. Your stressed self might forget the key data point. A pre-mortem would identify the failure. I will forget the slides. The system, or the solution, is simple. Print a one-page backup of the key figures and keep it in your pocket. You are not planning to fail. You are preparing for success by acknowledging that failure is a real possibility. Think the best, but prepare for the worst. This saves you from the cloud of stressed thinking. Another powerful strategy is called the implementation intention, or the if-then plan. This creates an automatic response, a simple rule to follow that requires no conscious thought when you are stressed. If I get a stressful email from my boss after 5 p.m., then I will close the computer immediately and take a 10-minute walk. Then, if I am criticized unexpectedly in a meeting, then I will take 3 deep breaths and pause for 5 seconds before speaking. By deciding your action ahead of time, you bypass the emotional, illogical part of your brain entirely. We can learn a lot from high-stakes environments, especially the world of aviation and medicine. Why do experienced airline pilots, with thousands of hours flying, still use a simple checklist every time? Because under pressure, even routine tasks become error-prone. The checklist is a safety net for brilliant minds. We need to create our own survival checklists for our most common stressors. This list might include simple things: passport in hand, laptop charged, or did I eat something? Now, why do so many of us resist this simple, life-saving advice to plan ahead? The reason is a cognitive error called the optimism bias. We tend to overestimate the likelihood of positive events and underestimate the likelihood of negative ones happening to us. We convince ourselves that we are strong enough, smart enough, or calm enough to handle the stress when it comes. True calm comes from accepting that all of us are flawed, and planning for those flaws is an act of wisdom, not paranoia. So planning ahead isn't about being paranoid. It's about being responsible to your future self. When you have a system, you don't need to be perfect. The system does the heavy lifting for you. This is the shift from relying on emotional willpower, which fails, to relying on logical systems, which hold steady. Every moment you spend worrying about a future problem is a moment you could spend preparing for it. Transform your worry into preparation. Transform your anxiety into a solid plan. Let's return to the story of the neuroscientist and his broken window on that freezing Montreal night. He didn't just fix the window. He used the mistake to build a permanent defense system. He had his contractor install a combination lockbox next to the front door, with a key inside. The combination was easy to remember, ensuring that even under extreme stress, he would have access to the key. He didn't rely on his memory or his calm demeanor. He relied on a physical system placed outside the panic zone. The combination lockbox is a perfect metaphor for dealing with any kind of future stress. For you, this lockbox might be a separate folder for important documents or a pre-written apology script. The system must be readily available and simple enough to use when your logical brain is offline. In moments of stress, we regress to our simplest, most practiced behavior. Therefore, we must practice the calm, prepared action repeatedly so it becomes second nature. The scientist also admitted something else. He still had piles of unsorted mail and unanswered emails. He made it clear. Organization and dealing with stress is not an overnight transformation. He sees organization as a gradual process, not an absolute state of perfection. You don't have to fix everything at once to start protecting yourself from stress. Start small. Pick one likely point of failure in your week and create one simple if-then plan for it. Our core lesson today is about respecting the biological reality of stress. Stop telling yourself, "I'll handle it when it comes." Your future stressed self needs your help now. The most powerful tool against panic is not willpower, but pre-planned clarity. Remember the 3 steps. Pre-mortem, what can go wrong? If-then, what will I do? And checklist, did I prepare? Knowing you have a system in place is the quietest way to stay calm when the inevitable stress arrives. As you listen to this, try to repeat the key concepts to reinforce your English learning. Practice using the if-then structure in your daily thinking. You are not planning to fail. You are simply building a strong bridge for when your calm self needs to cross. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with Daily Power English. Keep preparing gently and remember the power of thinking ahead. See you next time, friends.